I'm Emily from Oakview.
I'm Joe from Rotting.
And we have some horror recommendations for you today. They are inspired by October, of course, and also our readathon that we have coming up. Have you ever heard of a readathon?
Absolutely not.
So they're big on Twitter, especially if you're a nerd like me. Ours runs October 1st to October 31st, and the theme is horror. So the way readathons work is there's an overall theme, and then there are teams. And you get to pick your team, and each team has challenges for what books to read. In our case, we also have movies. And you earn points for your team as you read books or watch movies. So
sounds easy enough.
Yeah. So it's like our summer and winter reading programs, but it's mostly just for fun. Like, we don't have a lot of prizes to give away or anything. It's just a fun way to get you reading and maybe find some books you normally would not have.
What if I don't like horror?
That's just fine. Like for Team Alien, one of the book challenges is UFO, which is read a book with the letters U, F, and O on the cover.
It's doable.
Yeah. So even if you prefer romance or nonfiction or something, you don't have to read a scary book.
Cool.
So,
what book did you pick?
I picked the book Follow Me by Kathleen Barber. It is about an Instagram influencer. She lives in New York City. She's very popular. She's got like 1 million followers. And she moves to New York City, or from New York City to Washington, D.C. And little does she know, she has a stalker. He stalks her on social media, but now he can stalk her in real life because he lives in Washington, D.C. too.
Okay.
So it has a lot of jump scares in this book, which I didn't know you could do with writing, but it would translate very well to the screen. So maybe it'll be a movie someday because of the jump scares.
Maybe.
But yeah. It's pretty suspenseful. It's not necessarily gory or slashery, if that's not your thing either. Kind of a mystery because you don't know who the stalker is, but I really liked it. I do have something important to say. I read the book in a day, and I was like, I'm going to finish this in a day. And so I flipped to the end of the book to see how many pages I had left, and I saw who the stalker was. It was terrible.
That's a bad idea for them to do.
I know.
Yeah.
Totally revealed it. So be careful with that. But we have the downloadable audiobook, we have the ebook, and we have the print book. And I think it's really good. So I recommend it. It would fit the challenges for Team Disturbing and Team Thriller. There are a bunch that it fits. Like, I recommended it to you, so it's a recommendation. There's an unlikely pairing in it because her best friend is the complete opposite of her. And you could do your paralyzed because you can listen to the audiobook. And you could bring your wits from Team Disturbing, which says read a book that has a topic that's unfamiliar to you. So if you don't know about rat tools, you'd learn from it.
Never heard of that. Did she kill rats?
No.
Oh.
It's an acronym. So you have to read it to find out.
Okay.
What book did you pick?
I picked something a bit more dated than that. I picked Salem's Lot by Stephen King, which is under Teen Thriller. Read a scary book at night, because I'm sure I read some of it before bed, which was a terrible idea. It was the first really horror book I read in 6th grade.
Wow, that's young.
Yeah, it taught me some new swear words. It was great.
Oh.
But it gave me a horrific nightmare.
Uh-oh, what happened in it?
Something about moving from rooms to rooms. I still remember parts of it, that lights were going out and there was glass breaking and things coming inside, and it was at the Empire Mall.
Well, my book didn't give me bad dreams.
That's good. You're an adult.
That's true. I am an adult.
This book is a vampire book.
Okay.
It's one of his classic early books, probably one of the better ones, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
All set in the town of Salem's Lot in Maine, as you can imagine. And it's just really solid as a book. Local connection.
Oh.
It has, so that fits the challenge, Sioux Falls Orpheum Theater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's the
local connection is they made a mini-series out of it in the late 70s or early 80s that stars David Soul.
Okay.
Hutch from Starsky and Hutch, one of Washington High and Augustana's more notable alumni.
Cool.
And then
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's the main character.
Awesome.
I've never seen it.
Oh, I haven't either.
But they're doing a remake, and we have lots of options to check out the book in our system. Downloadable, audio, print, across the board.
Awesome. So if you want to have bad dreams, read Salem's Lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we also have
Let your
movies.
kids read it.
It'll teach them some new language.
Yeah.
So we also have movies. Do you want to talk about your movie first?
Yeah, I'll talk about my movie first.
Okay.
So for Team Alien, one of the movie challenges is Alien, and that's what I went with. Kind of to keep the same theme for me, it was the sequel, Aliens, was the first R-rated movie I ever saw.
Wow, how young were you then?
Around the same age,
Okay.
but it maybe a little younger. Anyway,
Did you have bad dreams?
no.
Good.
Because the second one is much more of like a action it's a James Cameron film.
Okay.
So much more action, science fiction, kind of your typical 80s film in that regard.
Sure.
The original Alien, which came out 6 years before, is a very early Ridley Scott film, pre-Blade Runner, that is an entirely different genre. In fact, it's almost a gothic horror kind of film set in space. This very foreboding atmosphere. I'm not as scary today due to special effects limitations, but they're all practical effects, so it gives it that weight that you miss with CGI. It's the cast is first rate.
Yeah.
It had really good actors, and the reactions they got from the cast with some of the filming. In fact, there's an infamous scene I won't spoil, but where they were not informed what was going to happen. They just showed up on set, and then he sprung a surprise that made one of them literally faint.
Wow, got some honest reactions there.
After they turned off the cameras. Yeah.
Yes.
It was a really good film. Yeah, I totally recommend it.
Okay. I picked the movie from Team Thriller's Psycho. I've always been a big Hitchcock fan. Ignore any other version of Psycho that might be out there. So a lot of people think of the shower scene when they think of Psycho. There's a lot more to it than that. It really builds the suspense and the horror. So it starts out with the main character. She's having an affair with a married man.
Scandalous.
I know, especially in 1960. So she's having an affair with him. He doesn't want to divorce his wife because he can't afford the alimony. So she goes to work one day, and a guy had a lot of money, and she was supposed to take it to the bank to deposit it. But instead she takes off because they can start a new life together with this money. He can afford the alimony now. She didn't really think out this plan very well, but she takes a road trip and ends up staying the night at the Bates Motel.
Bad idea.
Bad idea. So it's really good. There's a lot more to it than what you already know about it. If you haven't seen it, you should really watch it. It is the 60th anniversary of it on October 11th, so it's the perfect time to watch it.
There you go.
Yeah, and fun fact, the movie studio thought it would fail, so Hitchcock did most of the financing for the movie himself, as long as he got 60% of the profits, so he made a lot of money on this movie. Crazy.
Someone should have got fired.
Probably.
Yeah.
They lost the studio a lot of money.
Right.
So, and yeah, it ended up being a big hit. It's really good. It still stands today. It's not as gory as some of your current day slasher films might be, but he still had problems with the censors. One of the problems that they had with the movie was that it was the first studio movie to show a toilet on screen.
That's a weird random bit of trivia I did not know.
Yeah, also scandalous apparently.
I guess.
So I didn't know.
Did they have a bed where the married couple slept in the same bed, or were they still spread out by a nightstand or something? Did that break some taboos?
I think they were more concerned about the toilet.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it, watch it. We will have tracking sheets at libraries, and we'll also have a link that you can just fill out online. You just check the boxes. It's really easy. If you need recommendations for it, let us know. Just have fun with it. It's just one book per prompt is basically our only rule.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, happy Halloween.
Yeah. Have a good one.